One. I think it's fourth one, right? Fourth one, and we have our brother Minhaz Fahme from Bangladesh, and he's inshallah is going to represent his his idea and his business, and he's going to make a presentation about it, how he done it in general. Actually, I know Minhas from back in OIC Investment Summit in Istanbul. I had a chance to see his product actually, and it was quite interesting from my point of view. From my point of view, inshallah, he'll be giving the all details to you. But I think it's especially in this digital age, what Min has done is basically what we need for now. And uh, let me introduce him first. Then, inshallah, I'll be leaving the floor for our brother to introduce his business. Minhaz Salakin Fahme is the co-founder and CEO of Battery Law Interactive Limited, a company that makes wishes come true. It started as a game studio in 2015, and over the years grew into a bunch of wings, each working dedicatedly on serious games, web and app application development, business and marketing solutions using augmented reality and virtual reality, digital marketing, and small-scale indie games. With their outreach campaigns, Battery Law has reached 500,000 kids with the experience of immersive technology for the first time. Fahme also conducts a session on AR, VR, and MR, game design, entrepreneurship, career, and leadership for youth and entrepreneurs in educational institutions, national and international events. He is a blogger and a game designer, writer by the passion, and Wildcats travels, live concerts, epic fantasies keep him running. His first book, How to Make a Game, is coming out under the banners of a press, a Spring Nature Publishing house this summer. So it's a quite interesting personality. And without any further ado, I would like to leave the floor to our brother Minhas. So, brother, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Anas. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Nice to see you all here. And I was pretty excited about this session for when Mr. Sardar actually called me up a month ago that they are launching a series of storytelling sessions regarding different startups. And interestingly, the startups that chose, many of them are of my friends. And I made those friends through the investment summit that happened in last year. The year before last year was pretty green for everyone, I guess, but in 2019 in Istanbul, and the previous one was in entrepreneurship summit in Bahrain as well. So it was I was pretty excited, and a few of my friends like Mustafa, Hazel, and Haidar, they have already presented their startup. So today was my turn. So I feel good to be here. Thank you so much for having me. And I'll just share my screen with you so that you can see the presentation. Just give me a second. Yeah. Okay. I hope the presentation is visible.
Not yes. Now it is visible.
All right, Enes. Okay. So this is the story of Batrillo. So Batrillo Interactive, a company which works for making wishes come true, and I will run you through it. Before that, this is me, the Flash. As you will discover that all of us have our own superhero titles in our company, like every single one of us. So there are like 42 members right now, 42 team members, and each one has their own superhero titles, and I am called the Flash. So I'm basically the CEO of the company. I completed my graduation from another YC facilitated university, which is in Bangladesh, Gazipur. It's called Islamic University of Technology. I completed my BSc from there in 2016. So what do I do in my company? Let's introduce myself first. First of all, as I am talking right now, as you can see, so I basically talk in different occasions, in different places about my company, of course. I try to preach the things that I do, that we do, that my company do, of course. So that's one of my job. The clip is from the investment summit in Turkey 2019, and also, as you can see, I love to make stories and tell them as well. So this is pretty much my job. And about my company, Bachelor Interactive, as I already mentioned to you, that we make wishes come true. What wishes? I'll be explaining it to you. Before that, so we're talking about business, right? So I'm going to start with a very basic challenge or very basic problem that all of us face. So as you know that I have two more partners in my business. So as you can see us in the photo, and oftentimes we see this common complexion that whenever you are starting a business, you're talking about how to deal with business partners. I mean, you might have a need for business partners, and it can always help to have people in your team whom you can trust fully and who can trust on you as well. So it's a very good experience, I would say. But at the same time, it can be very challenging for you, because oftentimes we hear that relationships they fall apart, businesses they break into pieces because of problems between the partners. But it has been, mashallah, it has been like more than 6 years that we have been together, these three of us. And so I think that's a pretty big achievement that I consider from our end, alhamdulillah, because that's a very difficult job, and it has been difficult. But my partners, I'm really grateful to them, and I'm really grateful to Allah that I have got such good partners. And the key to have successful partnership in our case was basically that we have been honest with each other, whatever about our feelings, about whatever we feel, about our opinions. We never try to hide anything from each other. Whatever it is, we try to be transparent about it. We try to talk about it amongst ourselves. And also we show compassion. We have been showing compassion amongst ourselves and empathy. This is very important, that you might have a different opinion than your partner. We always have different opinion, different kind of opinion. That's why you have partners in your business, so that you can entertain different opinions coming from different perspectives, different backgrounds. But at the same time, whenever you are giving the opinion, whenever you are listening to somebody else's opinion, you have to think about that other person as well. That whenever you're delivering your opinion, what is it that he's thinking from his perspective? How your opinion can be impacting him? And when he's saying something, why is he saying that? You have to think from his perspective as well. So if you can practice that empathy, that trying to feel what the other person is feeling, then the partnership becomes much more easier. So that has been the secret behind running businesses all together without any problems for the last 6 years with these two for me. So I think that's one thing that you might wanted to probably might want to hear. And going back to our origins back in 2014-15, so we basically participated in Microsoft Imagine Cup. So as you all know, it's a technology competition. It's probably the most prestigious technology-based competition it was back then, organized by Microsoft. So surprisingly, we actually won an award in it in 2015. So we were kind of like surprised, because we are a very basic and very young, and this was our third or fourth game that we made, and we jumped into the competition and we won the award. So this gave us a huge boost and led us to the formation of the company Bachelor Interactive Limited. So as you can see, and after fast forward 5 or 6 years, as we can see that we have now 45 people in our team. We have uh, connected with 14 countries in terms of clients and partners, 14 countries, and we have served more than 180 clients so far. And we have entered a lot of kids, a lot of young people as well. So I will be explaining the services later on, just a bit later on. But this is us from that $25 investment that we made. The four persons that you saw into the picture, each of us made like around $6.25 of investment in the beginning of the company. And from that, now we have this one. So Alhamdulillah, we have grew a lot over the years. So what are the services that we basically offer? So Bachelor Interactive, we offer this in terms of technology, in terms of like services. These are the services that we have in our expertise level. So we do web development, game development, digital marketing, we do app development. AR VR development is one of our specialties, augmented reality and virtual reality applications, something that Enes probably experienced, and he was saying that in the summit as well, and also custom software development. So these are basically the overall services that we offer, and we have separate product lines and separate client services in each of the domain. So moving on. So before I move into any further, so if I talk about my journey, so I'd like to ask you one question. If anybody wants to answer, they can as well. I mean, we have a lot of participants as a year, we can see. So what was your childhood love in terms of, it can be someone, or it can be some topic as well, some toys or some books or something else. I don't know. So in my childhood, it was like in Bangladesh, back then, computers were not that much common. So one day, my father, who was a teacher, so he took me to one of his students' shop that has opened up in the market, and it has the first ever computer in this whole town. So I was really excited, and in that computer, I found these things. So if you are familiar with games, if you are a gamer of the of that age, like 20 years ago probably, or like 18 years ago, so you probably have played these games like Virtual Cop 2, or if you're into racing games, you have played Road Rash. If you are even if you're a gamer even before then, you have probably played Hercules or Tarzan, or if you're a Harry Potter fan, probably Harry Potter games back then. And if you had a Nokia phone, probably you have played Space Impact or Snake games. So these were basically my first love back in childhood. I fell in love with these things. And no, these things did not become addiction, of course, but I fell in genuine love with these things. And whenever I played them, in that childhood time, I started to wonder, what if I could actually improve them? What if this game could be like this? Or this game could be made like this? This could have been more fun, So these kind of thoughts actually went into my tiny little mind back when I was really little. Like I was in grade 1 or grade 4 or 5, I think, back then. So I was like merely 10 years old, I think, 10 or 11 maybe. So that was the time when these things started to happen. Fast forwarding many years. So what did I do after falling in love? I didn't do anything. I just kept playing. But eventually I had to complete my high school and complete my college as well. So as Bangladesh did not, and Bangladesh still doesn't have any specified game development universities or game development departments. So I had to there was not much scope for me to learn game development officially or in an institutionalized format. So what I did in the years that I studied in college or high school, I made a lot of friends, and I participated in a lot of extracurricular activities like debate, scouting, organizing events and stuff like that. And through that, I made a lot of connections. And a lot of seniors, a lot of juniors, and a lot of batchmates. And I also tried out different things, like from reciting poems, reciting Quran, and in competitions, reciting poems, debate. I used to draw as well. Now I laugh about it. In my childhood, I used to draw as well. I tried out painting as well. I mean, I have tried out everything. I tried out singing. I tried out dancing. So I tried a lot of things. And whenever something new came up, I tried to explore it and see if I can be good at it. So yeah, I didn't become very good at many of those things. Most of those things, I became good at a few things among them. But those things actually helped me a lot. And always I try to stay original. I mean, I think this is a crucial part because you see, when you meet a lot of people, uh, you can see different opinions coming in your way. Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, Anis. Yeah. So I was saying, like, so different opinions will come in your way, and you can always reshape your thought process. You improve your thought process through them, but it's also crucial that beliefs and core originality, that what kind of person you are, like the core values that society, your family teaches you. So I always try to stay original regardless the situation. And over all these years, I didn't know the quote before, like before I grew up. I always stayed foolish and I always stayed hungry, like hungry for new things. The hunger for learning new things was always there. And I didn't want to, outsmart everyone in the market. There was no rush. There was no race. There was no race in life that I was so desperate to win at that time. I tried to roam around. I tried to explore. I tried to feel out whatever Allah is giving in my way and keep exploring as much as I could. The result, my friends, after all these years, is this. In the screen, you can actually see what things that we have made so far in terms of games, and these are all our games, as you can see in the slide. And honestly, they are not the only games that we have made. We have made more. We have made even more. So this is the, like, a few things that I could fit in one slide. My team could fit in one slide. So from that dream in my childhood, a kid of 10 years of age playing in a computer of somebody else. I didn't have a computer until I was in class 9. Okay. So I used to play in other people's devices. I used to play games in other people's devices. And from that period, I had this dream, crazy dream of making games. And even when I was studying university, my university or any university in Bangladesh doesn't have any specialized or good courses or good departments of game design or game development. So I and my teammates had to learn it all by ourselves from the industry seniors or from internet and stuffs. So we are very, including me and my partners and my team members are mostly self-made persons. So whatever we have learned, whatever we have made, we have learned by ourselves. Yes, there are different seniors who have helped us in our ways, and we are really helpful to them. But as you know, that in Bangladesh, the game industry was not that much, big at the time. We are actually one of the early players in the game industry. There are only a few companies that were there. Still, there are only a few companies, but we had to learn our own way, and we actually made these things over the years. Moving on. If you have any questions in about those games, I'll come back to you in the question answer session. You can ask me about any game that we made, any solution that we have made. So before that, let me just run you through the concept of serious games. So what do we understand by serious games? We keep telling that Battery develops serious games. So what are serious games? So games, as we know, that games are like entertainment medias, right? So you have fun while playing games. What if I told you that you could achieve even something more by playing games? What if I told you that we can actually teach someone something in a very lucrative manner so that it gets stuck in their brain by playing games? So that is what basically we try to achieve through serious games. As you can see, we use the different techniques that are available in video games in the serious purposes. For example, for teaching someone something. For example, let me give you the example of two projects that are running right now. One is with UNICEF Bangladesh. We are converting the sexual and reproductive health education that are available in the curriculum board, in the national books, in the adolescent level. We're converting those lessons into a video game. So the teenagers, the adolescent kids, they will actually play the game to learn about these topics they will read in the book. So see what it does. A book can seem boring to the kids, and sometimes due to our societal taboo, many teachers don't feel that much comfortable in sharing tiny details about those topics. So what we basically do is we take those concepts and we try to represent them inside a game, so that when the player plays those games, he actually learns about the topic in a way that he understands properly and he remembers and he can teach others. So that are the goals that we try to achieve by developing games like those. There is another project going on with the UNDP of Timor, the country Timor, as you know. So we're giving financial education through that. And also, apart from that, not only in education, we also develop games to serve different branding purposes. For example, KFC. All of you have tried KFC, I guess. If you love chicken, you have must try KFC, of course, in your life, at least once, I know. So when KFC was launching a new chicken product in Bangladesh, so we made an augmented reality solution for them to, let people know about it, so that they can have an experience with the dragon and some chicken and some Game of Thrones themes. So we developed those experience to let the brand communicate its message and let the word out that a new brand, a new chicken product is out there. So things like this happen. I see different hands out there. We'll take questions, I guess, but after after I go to, at least after I cover a bit more of the presentation, then I will open up the floor for questions, of course. And also there are different simulations as well. So different simulations means like, for example, it could be like different things that you do, like fire safety simulation. There is one. There is a driving simulator in VR and in normal as well. So these kind of things we have developed to train people as well. So you play games. Our games you also play, but not only for fun. Apart from having fun, you can also learn new things. You can also communicate different message to people and to your target customers or to someone that you want to learn something. So that is the purpose of serious games, and we are specialized about it. So before I go into explaining a bit, so Enes, do we take any questions right now? I see a hand in the
If you wish, we can take, of course.
Yeah, one question I guess we can take.
Is there any questions from our participants?
Hand, I guess.
Is there any?
Well, I had that question, but I can wait until you finish your presentation and then we wait. Sorry about that. I just want to be the first and last.
Okay, after the presentation.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll just continue. Okay, moving on. So let me tell you about some of our games that we have made. For example, AR Battery Low. It's a basically augmented reality based basketball game, and it's the first ever B2C augmented reality game made in Bangladesh back in 2015, made by us. There is a product to aid the furniture companies. The furniture companies which so the common problem of the furniture companies was basically they could not the customers could not try out the furniture because we don't have any giving back policy or refund policy here. So they could not try out their furniture before buying. So that was a major problem. So with one of the big furniture brands in Bangladesh, we made this product called Home Showroom, through which using augmented reality they could try out their furnitures in their home. So this actually helped this brand establish the confidence in their customers so that they could try it on. There is a product called AR Photo Booth where you can take photos with your favorite celebrity. It could be superstars, rock stars, cricketers, footballers, as you wish. So this is another one. And if you are from the subcontinent, you probably love cricket. So this is something for you. So as you can see, we developed a solution which through which you can play cricket in virtual reality. There are different difficulty levels. There are different opponents as well. So you get the concept. So for different brands, we have developed this kind of things like when you play you don't have to have a field to play cricket. So the problem we have been facing in Dhaka city, the capital of Bangladesh, is that our fields have been filling up, making way for different skyscrapers, different buildings. So our children, they are facing some lack of, fields that we used to play in. Like in my childhood, I played a lot of cricket in fields. So what we try to do is give them the experience of cricket, even if you don't have any field to play it on. So you can do it with your VR. There's another thing that we did with for footballers. You can take penalty shootouts, like tiebreakers, using motion sensor technology. So you come in front of your computer and you senses you using like a motion sensor device called Kinect, and then you try out the penalty shoot and try to beat the goalkeeper. Moving on. So okay, so another thing, another time for another challenge. I think this needs to be addressed as well. So you see, through my journey, I will address different challenges or different problems that we have encountered, or your business, any business can encounter, and I will share my story, how we have actually tackled them. For example, you see, when COVID has actually happened in all the around the world, so there was this concern that many of our products became obsolete. Like for example, we did a lot of things regarding events. For example, different events are taking place. We're developing different solutions for those events, like different AR, VR solutions or experiential supports. So when COVID happened, all those events stopped. So we had to evolve, we had to innovate. So we came in with a solution that exactly caters to the problem of COVID. So this is called AR menu. Using augmented reality menu, we made a touchless system.
During the current COVID context, we continue to maintain social distancing at restaurants and social gatherings, minimizing contact with external objects that are supposedly exposed to the virus and pose high risk of transmission. At a time, restaurants have started taking necessary precautions like distanced sitting space, temperature checking, and sanitizing before entering. But what about ordering from a menu that might have been touched by many? What if you could get a touchless interaction while ordering your desired food? It is now only time's demand for AR to take over your menu concerns and provide customers with the utmost safety of AR menu without getting in touch and preventing any potential transfer of the virus. The customers can scan an already built-in logo or QR code integrated in the sitting station and view the menu digitally on their phones, tablets, or any device. All they have to do is scan the integrated code and order from their smart devices. This helps avoidance of contact with any other material as well as easing customer experience and increasing customer satisfaction and convenience at the same time. So, what are you waiting for? Get your restaurant digitized and safe with the help of AR menu.
So as you see that we did not stop. So we had to innovate. And in terms of business, whatever business you do, things will always go wrong. Okay. So regarding the worst that can happen is natural disaster, which against which you have no say against. Okay. You cannot do anything about it. What you can do is basically innovate and try out a different approach, try out something new, figure out a way to get out of the mess. If you cannot clean up the mess, forget about it and try to clear out a way so that you can get out of it and create something else. You have to always evolve. You have to always stay alert that something bad can happen. And if that happens, then you have to figure a new way out. You have to continuously innovate. In this age, you cannot just sit around and think that your product will run itself, your business will just continue itself for over the years. You have to continuously evolve according to situations. Moving on. So this is one of our simulation videos. This is for safe driving simulation. So as you can see, you can virtually train yourself to drive. And we have made it for Bangladesh in Bangladeshi situation, in a custom situation, in custom roads that happen in the condition that have road condition that happen in Bangladesh. So if you have been to Dhaka, you probably know that like there are different well, it's a very busy city, and the traffic is really really hectic. So as you can see, when you are driving and if you are making any errors, it shows that you are making errors, and it will show you what errors have you done, like how many times you have collided with the passers-by or different vehicle, or how many times you have gone in the wrong lane or collision with human. So it will all show, it will shown after you are finished with your driving. So this basically happens a lot in Dhaka streets. So as you can see, so the player is playing and he's getting trained by it. And whenever he does anything bad, as I was saying, like he will have their, they will have their statistics in the ending of the video. Let me just, yeah, from here, just replay from here. So after the game is finished, so it will show you the statistics. That, sorry about that, the skips. Yeah, there you go. Number of incidents and what your scores are, and after that there is also a quiz session to check whether your driving knowledge, your traffic knowledge is up to the part, up to the level. Yeah. So the whole situation is like, as you can see, after this, they tell you that what is your score and how fit you are for the driving in terms of our simulation. Okay, time for another challenge. So every business, every startup especially, we face with a very common problem that we need good people in our team, you know, very skilled people or people who can make things happen. But the problem of finding good people to work for you is they don't come cheap. They are usually very, very costly, you know. So you have to pay them good incentives. Otherwise, they have no intention of coming.
Minhaz, do you hear us? I think Brother Minhaz has lost the connection. Brother Minhaz? Yes, unfortunately, I think he lost the connection. Let's wait him for a couple minutes. Inshallah, he'll be joining us shortly again to finish his presentation.
Team members. So many of our team members, they do a lot of sacrifices and they're settling for less compensation that they could have gotten in like some other big companies. So, but they're not foolish people. They're definitely clever people. And as I'm telling you, they're very qualified. that means they're very clever. At least like they're not fool. Okay. So why do they stay? Why do they work here? Because they have something. We give them something that they cannot have in all those big corporations. The environment in Battery Law is something that you cannot find in any other companies in like around. It's extremely different, and we practice this harmony in between us, this fun environment. We all act like a family here, and when I say it, I mean it. Like all of us are very entertained with each other, and we have like deep relationships with each other, and we have a lot of fun while working together. So for this experience, whenever you are inside the team, once you have settled in, you don't want to leave. So that's the environment that we offer, and no amount of money can actually make that happen. So we have created a value that you cannot possibly buy with money. So that's why people stay. So that's my hack. Like that's how we do it in Battery Law. So you can find your own option. Like, but if you have to have good people working in your startup, you have to give them something really interesting. Otherwise, they won't come. If you have like huge funding, you can probably offer them like sizable salaries. If you cannot, then probably you have to find other ways so that you can make their stay worthwhile. You have to value their efforts. So in our company, we give them that happiness, that ease of work, that environment where they love to work. So that's how we actually solve the culture. So if you can see, if you want to watch a video about it, so there is actually a video regarding company culture. It's pretty old. It's like 2 years before. It's from 2 years before.
So Battery Law has been amazing experience for us. Seeing a company can grow right from the dormitory to this level has been quite inspiring. And I myself have grown with this company as well, which I'm truly grateful for. So happy birthday, Battery Law.
A lot has changed since experiencing the first ever virtual reality game 4 years ago when I was a student. It was developed by Battery Law Interactive. Now I create games for that very company. A lot has changed for better.
Hi, I love Battery Law Interactive because Battery Law cares about me as a person, my professional growth, and also everyone over here shares the same vision and is dedicated to the mission. I wish Battery Law a very happy birthday.
Hello. Battery Law has been a great journey so far. So yeah, and Battery Law, the thing that I love most about Battery Law is that it provides you with a culture of collaboration. And love you, Battery Law. Good luck.
I have been with Battery Law for about a year and what a difference a year can make. Battery Law for today. Happy birthday, Battery Law.
Battery Law Interactive is very close to my heart because I have a great degree of control and freedom of information. I work on a flexible schedule both in and out of office. Happy birthday, Battery Law.
Happy birthday, Battery Law Interactive. A place to see the dreams and achieve them.
Hello, I've been working here for over 2 years, and the best thing about Battery Law is that it takes care of its people. I joined as a full stack developer, but soon I was scouted and moved into other well-suited positions. So I'm very happy to work here, and I love you, Battery Law. Happy birthday.
I have been working here for a few months, and from what I can say, Battery Law is a great team. Everyone here strives to make each other better as a person, as a team. I love how friendly everyone is, and I love you, Battery Law. I wish you a very happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Battery Law.
So
I'm really proud of working here. Happy birthday. Good luck.
I wish Battery Law a really happy birthday.
So as you can see, that was like 2 years before when we are celebrating our 4 years celebration. So what happened after 1 year, I'll also show you that. So you are hearing the sounds when I'm playing the videos, right?
We are hearing the sounds, yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'm not sure if any Bangladeshi people has joined the session today, but well, this one
They have, yeah. I think we have.
Because we actually have a Bangla song in the background of this video. So this is from last year, before the pandemic. So as you can see, like this was before pandemic, just before pandemic. This was the last thing we did before pandemic. In fact, like this was done in like the February last year, and after in the March, as we all know, the world actually stopped in these places. But we usually have a lot of fun, as you can guess from this video. Moving on. So thanks to ICYF as well, because they have actually facilitated us in 2019 in 2 of their events. And thanks to those events and our other networking activities, right now we have partners in different countries in the Middle East and in Europe as well. So it was a team effort. So as you can see in Europe, like different countries like Netherlands, Denmark, we have our partners. We're partners in Singapore. We're partnered with people in the Middle East, based in Bahrain, based in Turkey as well. So like in different sort of partnerships, sometimes we try to like promote their products in Bangladesh, in the subcontinent, and sometimes they promote our services, our products in their respective region. So it's a like give and take process. And sometimes we do research together as well. So with our European partners as well. So that's something that we do. So these are the interesting partners, as you can see. And there is another thing that we try to do, that apart from giving these services, so we also think about the core origin, why we started this company in the first place. You see, like the tagline of the company is, we make wishes come true, and we work with technology, right? So there are different people in this world. There are many people in this world, many kids in this world who are underprivileged and who actually cannot get access to those technologies like you and me. They don't have access to these live sessions. They don't have access to these devices even. So they cannot afford it. But these people, these kids, they have the potential to be so much more, and they have their own wishes. So always, we try to give back. We have tried to give back. So you see, this is another video of like one of our campaigns, as you can see. So where we take the technology to them, to the kids.
আশা, আকাঙ্ক্ষা আর ইচ্ছে, এই ইচ্ছে আর স্বপ্নগুলো যখন হয় কোনো ছোট্ট শিশু, তখন তা হয় আরো সুন্দর। এমনই কিছু ইচ্ছের কথা শুনতে ব্যাট্রিলো থেকে আমরা বেরিয়ে পড়ি সুবিধা বঞ্চিত শিশুদের মুখে হাসি ফোটানোর উদ্যোগে, সুবিধা বঞ্চিত শিশুদের জন্য গড়া এক স্কুলে।
We actually asked them. actually try to fulfill some of their wishes through technology, as you can see. So we took out our games and we actually let them experience them. So motion sensor based games or augmented reality games where they can fly, they can play cricket, they can be cricketers, footballers, whoever they wish through our games. And they can visit different places through VR of the world, which they only dream to visit.
মুজিব শতবর্ষের সূচনায় সুন্দর লগ্নে জাতীয় শিশু দিবসে আমাদের একটাই প্রত্যাশা, এই ইচ্ছেগুলো যেন পূরণ হোক আর তাদের মধ্যে থেকে গড়ে উঠুক এক একজন মুজিব।
So far we have covered 500,000 kids and we have given them the experience of extended reality of AR, VR and other things for the first time in their life. Okay, moving on. I'm actually moving into the last phase of, there are different phases in my presentation. So it's basically the last phase. So this is something that I have learned in my life. You should try to travel as much as you can. And you should try to, it was not very easy for me being a Bangladeshi, represent a domain that's really rare in your own country and serve different people from different countries. So we had to really get the word out. So we had to travel. So and I really wish I traveled much more, even more. So we did whatever we could. So from childhood, I have been like participating in different competitions. So for example, my first international competition was back in 2011. So that was 10 years ago in Lucknow, India. It was a biotechnology festival and I was debating there. So there are different, over the years, there have been like different international events for me. So there's the highlights like the YBH Interpretation Summit in Manama, organized by ICOF, as you can see. Then there was Game Developer Summit in Hyderabad, India. So, and then the happiest one, the YC Investment Summit that was in Istanbul, Turkey. In the night, you can see my friends there, and there are different. Many of my friends from Bahrain has also joined. I can see them on the chat screen. I can see Archie there.
Yes.
There's Mustafa. There's Hazel. There's Haidar as well. There's Grace. So yeah, there's all of them. Moving on, this was our picture with President Erdogan, as you can see, His Excellency, and also His Excellency Mr. Taha Ayhan, the President of ICOF as well. So as you can see, so this is a very happy picture with all the startups featured both inside our Turkey and outside Turkey in that summit. So this was a very happy frame for all of us, and this was a memorable tour, yeah. Apart from, as Enes was saying in my bio, that like apart from my professional life, inside my professional life as well, I design games myself as well. So I write game stories and all. So this is basically my favorite place. And every year I try to go there once in December because it's the most beautiful out there in December. And I try to sit by the sea, and I try to write about the concept that I'll work on, the single most precious project that I'll work on in the next year. I try to do it there. I try to design it there because this is my favorite spot. And I think my brain functions most there. So it's my favorite spot for game design. So it's an island basically. So whenever like, comes down and all of you are vaccinated, you are invited to visit here. I'll take you all there and we can have a trip there and we can see the beauty there. And well, I'll talk about the challenges more in the question answer sessions, but over the years, like there are a few things that has helped me a lot, I have learned from my journey. That first of all, people actually don't care about a single robotic statement, but people care about something else. People care about emotions. People care about new brand. People care about brands. So when you say that you are selling an iPhone and people are actually paying like around like $100 and $500 US dollars for it, that's because of the brand of the iPhone. Because Apple is a brand, you are buying a expensive Samsung phone or a MacBook or a Microsoft because of the brand, because of the quality. So you have to build a brand, and you start up whatever that is. If you don't spend your resources building a brand, it's going to be difficult for you in the long run. Second thing is when you're running a start in life, like even if you're not running a startup, things will always go wrong. And in startup, it will go like even more. Like it's a very chaotic situation, startup life. So you have to be patient. You have to keep at it. And of course, you need to know when to stop as well, but you have to keep at it, and you have to make peace with yourself that you have tried the last, even till the last game, till the last moment, that I have exhausted my efforts. I cannot do more than this. When you're absolutely certain about it, then you stop. But before that, you have to keep trying, because even Google, I think, was about to try sell their company in only $1 million valuation back in 1999. So if you think about it, like 22 years later, when Google is basically arguably the world's one of the most biggest forces, so you see, they didn't give up. They kept at it. But yes, there are many companies that actually could not do it, of course. But you have to learn from their mistakes, and you have to implement those knowledge in your journey. And also, most importantly, when you're running a startup, it's not a very logical thing to do, if I'm being absolutely honest, because it's a very high risk, high gain thing. So, but if you're up for the journey, if you love this game of doing startups, making products, giving solutions to people, making something of your own, then you must be a dreamer. And my friend, if you are a dreamer, then you have to dream like crazy, and you have to be emotional in this. There will always be logical systems to keep you in check, but regarding your dream, regarding your goals, you have to be emotional about it. You have to have your dream, and you have to pursue it. There is a magic in it that I cannot explain. It's given by Allah, I guess, but there is a magic in it, and it will drive you, to get you through different difficult circumstances in your life. And if you cannot dream, if you don't dream, my friend, it will be very difficult for you. And also, moving at the very end of the presentation, just publicizing about my book that is coming out under Appress, Springer Nature Publishing House. It's going to be published in New York and different other countries as well. If you are up for making games, if you are a beginner level game developer or trying to be an intermediate level game developer, so this can be of a good resource to you. It's called How to Make a Game. So if you're following me on my social media channels, I'll be posting updates about my book, when it's coming out and how you can get it. So hopefully it will be coming in this summer. So pray for me and pray for my book as well. And sure. There's the last thing that I wanted to talk about. So as we already know that due to kind of devices, so it has been difficult for us to, see the sunrises. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to get up every morning, probably to pray my Fajr prayer or to watch, like it was just a habit, like raising up, waking up early and watching the sunrise. So over the years, this practice sadly has been, a bit diminished. I mean, like now we are all used to, stay awake till 2 a.m., 3 a.m. Some of us even stay awake till 4 a.m. in night. And this has become like very normal lifestyle. So I have lived a big portion of my life in this fashion. And also, I have also seen, after growing up as well, after many years, I have tried to experience some sunrises. And what I have found is those sunrises, like watching those sunrises, are really helpful. And they can cleanse your heart in a way that can actually empower you, that can give your heart something that you probably cannot get from those artificial things. So these are very natural things and very basic things I'm talking about. If you are an early riser, then you are in for a treat. That's a blessing if you can raise early. So like if you pray regularly, so then probably you watch sunrises, so that's good for you. So that's why it's in our holy book as well. So if you don't, then I recommend you do it, or at least try to see the sunrise and see the effect. Like for me, I think they take care of dark nights. Yeah. So as per Battery Law Interactive, we are stepping into our 7th year of operation, and the tagline that we have created for this campaign is 7 and strong. So in this campaign, as you can see in the kid, is really happy with our game. That's the game she's playing on the screen. So in the 7 and Strong campaign, we are taking different stories from people from all around the world where they talk about their strength. As you all know that the world has been suffering a lot in the last 1 year, and our strength has kept us, has kept has a lot to do about keeping us intact right now. So those of us who are still living and still trying to get through it, so all of us have our own source of strength, and when we share about those strength to other people, we try to empower them as well. We try to give them strength as well. It can be shared, we believe. So this year I will ask you to, after the session, probably like in my personal bio or my company bio, I will share a form where you can submit your video. If you want to participate in the campaign and talk about your strength, you're most welcome. We'll be making a video on it, that what actually is your strength. You can show it, or you can like tell about it in like 10-15 seconds, and we'll make a video out of it, like all of the world, what actually give you strength, like from all over the world. So you can follow us, Battle Interactive, in our website, our LinkedIn, our Facebook pages. You can follow me on my Instagram. There is a Medium. If you're into Medium, if you read blogs, so I have a Medium account as well. I write my fictions there, so on my blog post there. So so you can see my website as well, or in my Medium channel as well. So you can find them. So these are basically about me from my presentation. So I think I'm done with my presentation. So
thank you, brother Minhaz, for the insightful presentation of yours to our speakers about your entrepreneurship, about your journey, and how you've done it, and what kind of challenges that you have faced while you're doing it. So now the floor is open for any further points of information, or points of questions to our speaker, brother Minhaz. If you have any questions, please just raise hand from the chat box, so I can see, and then I can recognize you for you to ask your question. Fraz Al-Jafal from Jordan.
Assalamu alaikum, brother and sister. Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Fahme. I want to say that I wish you, may Allah give you the success in your company and in your coming book. I have a few questions, bear with me. First, I would like to thank you about your presentation. It's very interesting presentation, and very well done. I had a personal experience with gaming and virtual reality whenever I was working at the Real Tank Museum, and I attended one of the gaming summit we organized in there. So, and now I'm doing my master's, and currently I'm writing my thesis about startups and the critical success factors for those startups. So I want to begin with asking you, what's the leadership skills that was important for you as a leader for a startup to understand and have the critical success factors, which I would love to hear what, in your perspective, is the critical success factors, and when did you realize that your company is a successful company? What's the milestone that you, or the when did you understand, or when did you achieve the success? Sorry if I took more than.
No, it's okay. Walaikum assalam, first of all, and that's pretty interesting portfolio from your side as well. Thank you for all the kind words. I'm not sure whether I deserve those things. Well, and very interesting portfolio from your side as well. I'm really excited to talk to you as well. So you see, like for me, it was about the leadership things. So I think it was a combination of honesty. Honesty to myself, first of all, that I want to do this, and to my partners, to my team members as well. So I had to be honest with everyone, to myself and them, that what I want to do. I had to stay honest with the cause that I'm pursuing, that I'm trying to achieve this, and I have to do it. And regarding leadership, there's another thing that's called leading from the front. So you have to make sacrifices. And you cannot hesitate, should not hesitate while making them. Okay, you can have self-doubts, but you cannot show their self-doubts in front of your teammates. Okay, you have to lead it, and you have to do things, you have to do the necessary sacrifices, and after you do it, then you can share the journey with them, that I have gone through these pain points, but I did it eventually. So these things, even if you don't share, if you sometimes you don't even have to tell, they can see. So these things, like, I try to do it myself, and my partners have helped me as well. And honesty, that's really important, I think. So yeah, honesty and leading from the front, sacrifices, I think that's important. And also, as I was saying, like, you have to dream. That's another thing. And regarding the milestone, well, I think it varies from person to person. Like, regarding when you will call yourself successful, when you will call yourself a failure. To me, I think if I'm happy with my whatever I'm doing, if I'm happy, and if my team members, they are happy with whatever they're doing, I think that's a success. Because at the end of the day, you cannot restrict it with any money. For example, if my company is valuated in $1 million, if my company is valuated $1 billion, I'll call it successful. You can have that dimension, but to me, to us, it was not something like that. To us, it's always has been, if we keep growing, all the people, they're happy working here, and we are making a difference, we are making wishes come true for other people in the world, I think we're successful. So yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from our participants? I think there are some written questions. Let me read it. Shagyaf Molarazai from Iran. In your idea, how would you video games can contribute to education development and sustainability? This is the question.
Okay. So, well, education development and sustainability. Well, in education, I think it is becoming very intuitive. It is becoming very intuitive, because you see, you have to ask yourself, whom are you going to teach? Like the kids who are like 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, to 10 years old, every one of them play games right now. Whether you like it or not, your kids, they play games, and they will keep playing games. You cannot stop it, because you have these devices, you have your PCs, you have your PlayStations and everything in your device, and you cannot stop this global trend. You just cannot stop it. Game industry itself is bigger than the whole movie industry and music industry. If you just add movie industry and music industry valuation, you cannot even match video game industry. So that's the size of the game industry. So you cannot stop this possibly. So what you can do is, you can utilize this. Your children, they will play games. They will do it. What you can do is give them games that can teach them as well. Yes, they can play some entertainment games, of course. They will play. That's necessary for their entertainment, for their growth, for their brain development, for their problem-solving skills. But at the same time, there are games that can teach you. For example, we have partnered with Grindel Games, like a Netherlands-based company. So we have like a math game through which, you know, they try to teach the primary level kids, from age 6 to 11, how to do maths, you know, the basic math operations and all. So we can you can try out the application. It's called Garfield's Count Me. It's in the Play Store as well. So through which they can learn about it. And the game we are making with UNICEF Bangladesh is about teaching the adolescent people about sexual and reproductive health. So that's in the book curriculum. We're converting it to a game. Why we're doing it? Because when you learn something by playing games, it sticks more into your heart, into your brain. So it sticks longer, and the effectivity is more. So you become more convinced, and you don't forget those things. That's more important. So that's why, like, video games can and are contributing to education. In terms of sustainability, there is another thing, that when you are conveying something with a game, a training or something that you want to preach, so you can convince them easier, you know. So for example, I can give you an example of a virtual reality application that was done for the Palestinian people, like, and the Syrian people, like our brothers and sisters who have been suffering in Syria. So it was used in to raise donations, and there was a short VR film. It's called, I think, something, I forgot the name, but it's something in Sidra, I think. So it actually was used to raise $2 billion of funds for those people in Syria. So in virtual reality. So you see, like, if you want to convince someone about something, so this is a very good storytelling medium, games and interactive applications as well.
Thank you. I think it's going to be the last question of our session. What are the most challenging issues of video game design, and what game are you the most proud of developing, and why? This question is from Nayab Zaha from Pakistan.
Okay, so what are the core challenges of game design? And okay,
yes, issues of most challenging issues of game designing.
The problem with like the issues of game design is basically, you see, when you're designing a game, you are thinking about yourself, of course, yeah, but you also have to think about the player as well. Okay, and in today's world, there are like it's so diversified, and you can actually reach out to any player in the world from any region. The problem is, oftentimes you might not know about the culture or the philosophy of those people in different corners, but you probably want your game to be played there as well. So it always helps to have some sort of understanding about the people that are going to try out your game. So when you're designing a game, you have to think about the player. You have to always think about the player. So the game is for the player. You have to remind yourself continuously about it. And when designing a game, it's easy. It's not easy, but well, you can design a game yourself. But whenever you are going to production, different issues come around. You know, sometimes the programmers say that, well, this is going to be very challenging. If you have this feature, you cannot have that feature. Those kind of things, and they can be really like problematic situation. There can be some mismatch. So you have to match them. Oftentimes there are budget issues. For example, you want to make something really good, but probably the production team doesn't have that much of a budget. So how do you do it? Like, what compromises do you make? So these kind of problems come around. And also there is this issue with competition, because so many people are making games nowadays. There are so many people. So you have to, if you want your game to stand out, so what are the unique things of your game? Have somebody else already done it in other games? If somebody else has already done it and marketed it, then why are people going to pay for your game? Why are people downloading your game? Even if you do it for free, they probably won't have time for your game because they have so many options. So you have to have some unique features, or you have to implement a common feature so well that none of the other companies have done it before. So that's another hack that you can use. So that's how you could do it, I guess. And regarding which game I'm really happy or proud about, well, it's a difficult question to ask. But I think one thing that we developed back in 2015, that's my favorite, I think, that we won the Imagine Cup with. That was a game called Envo. It's basically about after 200 years later, the story is like this: the resources of Earth has diminished. So to collect natural resources, you have to go to different planets and collect different resources. It's a platformer game, level-based game. There are like 5 planets, 5 different universes, 35 sub-levels, and you play your way around. So it was a really interesting game, and I was really happy because we have a lot of nostalgia attached to this game. But in terms of impact, if you are asking me about impact, I think the game with UNICEF is going to be like one of the big things in our lifetime, because we are addressing a very core issue in the Bangladeshi community, because the topic is really problematic and there are not proper education. It's not maintained properly in Bangladesh, and our people are suffering for this. So if we can make this game properly, it will create a huge difference. So we are really proud to work on this project. And there is that is about suicide prevention. We are making a game for suicide prevention with real life stories. That's a critical project that we are working on. So that's another thing we're really happy. And another game that I want to tell you about is the virtual reality skydiving game that we made back in 2016. It has, I think it has been played. It is probably the most played game in VR in Bangladesh so far, because it has reached like around like 60-70 institutions where the campaign took place. So these are the games that are highlights, I think. But yes, we have many. You can see it in our websites and our channel 6. Yeah. Thank you, Ines. Over to you.
Thank you, Minhas. And having this said, we have come to a conclusion for our session. I think it's the fourth session of the YBH storytelling. And I would like to thank, on behalf of ICY family, to our dear brother Minhaz Fahme for his valuable contribution to our program and sharing his story and his entrepreneurship to our dear participants. And I would like to thank also our participants for their passion and patience during the entire session. So that's all from my side, and I hope to see you again, inshallah, for the next session in the YBH storytelling. So hope to see you again, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Stay safe and be happy. Thank you. Bye bye.